This formal meditation practice is going to be inquiring into the nature of our thoughts. So I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze, dropping it down slightly, whichever position of the eyes suits you. By now you have come to a comfortable seat, your spine is upright and lengthened. If you need to make some adjustments still, then please do. Hips are above the knees, supporting that length so that we can hold ourselves balanced without the muscles straining. We're just going to notice the connection to the solid objects underneath us. And underneath that is the earth, also solid and holding, supporting us. So we can rest knowing that we are supported. Drawing the awareness back into the body now. Noticing if the lower abdomen, the belly area is moving or if it's pulled in. And as you take deeper audible breaths to yourself, maybe 2 or 3, just encouraging that area to find this natural movement. Feel free to do a few shoulder rolls or some movements of the neck muscles. Maybe stretching into the face a little as well. And then settling into a posture that is going to be conducive for this time, so that we can limit the distractions in the body, use that focus, that awareness, and that energy to observe the nature of our thoughts, nature of our mind. And so we can start by focusing on the breath. Breath is always in the present moment, and this is what we do with our mind training. We focus on a point in the body or on the breath, holding our mind there as to train a muscle and a faculty of mind. This is easier said than done. After a while, we will notice our mind becoming distracted with a thought, a feeling, or an emotion. And when we notice that, we're going to gently guide our mind back, gently and lovingly back to our breath. So we can already just notice the flow in and out of the body, this conscious awareness on our breath. The mind has also been said to be like a vast, endless flowing river. Continual flow, continual stream. This is just consciousness. We know that in the river, it's not just water. From time to time, there will be bubbles, there will be fish, there might be twigs, leaves floating on top or in the water. And these are the thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. This is what is part of the space of mind. And they will continually flow. They will come and they will go. And now, to be the witness of this river, it's as if we are sitting on the edge, on the bank, and we are observing. We are observing the space and the flow of the river, this constant, endless stream of emotion, of thoughts, of feelings. We're not jumping into the river, trying to grab a fish or a twig or a bubble. We're just observing from the bank. And this is the difference between observing the thought and thinking. When we start to think about the thought that just passed, it's as if we've jumped into the river and we're trying to swim after this particular thought. And we can get very distracted for a long time as we swim down the river, or as we think our thought. So coming back to the breath. Coming back to sitting on the bank of your river and observing the flow of the breath now. And when you notice you are distracted with a thought, maybe you have jumped into the river, and that's fine. Bring yourself back to sitting on the edge of the bank, kindly, gently. Bring yourself back to the breath. Again, noticing when you are distracted by the thoughts, feelings, emotions. Kindly guide yourself back. Congratulating yourself for noticing that you were distracted. Keep guiding yourself gently back to the breath. Your focus for this meditation practice. And as we continually bring our mind back to the breath, perhaps there's a little bit more space, even if it's just a little bit, between the thoughts, between the distractions. And within the space now, the next thought that arises, just observe exactly what that thought is. And then come back to the breath. Now we are being curious to the content of what's in that stream of the river. What color are the twigs and the leaves? What shape are the bubbles? We're still not jumping in and swimming after them. We're just noticing the quality of the thought, what it was about, its content, and then we choose, before we start to think too much about it, to come back to the breath. Noticing the content of the thought and coming back to the breath. In this way, you're getting more familiar with the territory of your mind, with the finer detail. What kind of thoughts are in your mind? What kind of twigs and leaves and bubbles are in your stream? Come back to the breath each time. Again, gently and kindly bring yourself back from distraction, back to your chosen focal point of the breath. And now drop the technique and just rest in the vastness of your mind. When there is distraction again, bring yourself back to the technique. This is the practice of a technique for meditation. Follow the breath. This is our chosen hook for this practice. In true meditation is not an act of effort or doing. So find that space now by dropping the technique and just resting in your being, in your awareness. And then when there's distraction again, we bring in the effort of training our mind to focus in on the breath, observing the thoughts as they come and go. Using this technique to train the muscle of our mind, so that every now and then we can just drop the technique and rest in the true nature of mind. One more time, coming back to the breath. And at this point, acknowledging the practice, acknowledging the time that you have dedicated, taking a moment for gratitude for all the conditions in your life that have made it possible for you to practice at this time. And it's gratitude for the breath now. Taking a few deeper breaths as you signal to your mind and your body that you are slowly going to transition out of this practice. And when you hear the sound of the singing bowl hit 3 times, you can take deeper breaths and transition in your own way out.